The battlefield is quiet. Black's army stands in formation. The king sitting proudly on e8. Everything looks stable, everything looks normal. But then, on the flank, a lone white pawn steps to c4, no threats, no danger. Just a quiet move that Black completely underestimates. And that's the trap. The English opening doesn't storm the center like e4 or d4. It bends the game. It starts building your position in a way that Black can't easily challenge. While Black is waiting for the usual battles, this little pawn on Sate4 is already deciding the plans, deciding how the entire game will be played. Black thinks they're safe behind their pawns, but the English doesn't attack immediately in the center, it goes around it. This opening forces Black into unfamiliar territory. They can plan for the Italian, the Vienna, the Ruy Lopez, but the English? Most players don't know the first two moves. And that's why it's so powerful, because with c4, you choose the kind of game you want, not Black. Welcome to this week's video and the English opening. But here's the thing, we're not pushing d4 here. That's the Queen's Gambit world, and that will be in the next video's week. Okay, let's start with the most principled and honestly the most annoying response to the English. e5. Congratulations, you've just entered the Reversed Sicilian, where you're basically playing the Sicilian defense, but with an extra tempo. So yeah, you're the one with the advantage here. We start simple with nc3. Develop, grab space, nothing fancy yet. Black usually plays nf6, hitting your pawn and pretending they're active. We defend with nf3, and now look what happens. Black has to choose a plan, while you already have yours. They often go nc6, developing normally, but here's the problem for Black. In the Sicilian, White wants to attack. In the Reversed Sicilian, you are that White. Now g3. This is one of the strongest setups against e5. You fianchetto, you control the dark squares, and you get that long diagonal pressure right away. If Black goes d5, great. They're opening the center when you're ahead in development. This is not a good trade for them. They take back with the knight, and suddenly that knight is a target, not a piece. You castle next move. Your bishop is breathing fire, and you're basically playing a Sicilian dragon with the color swapped. But you're the one a tempo up. Whatever Black plays here, you get the same result. You're faster, your bishops are better, and you decide when the center opens. Castle, connect the rooks, and your position practically plays itself. Meanwhile, Black is already thinking, wait, why does this feel uncomfortable? I'm supposed to be the Sicilian guy. Now let's go back and talk about the line you'll also see. Black just copies you with so5. Welcome to the Symmetrical English, the mirror matchup where Black pretend everything is equal until it isn't. We bring the knight, developing smoothly and already hinting that we want more space on the queen side. Black usually keeps copying with knight c6, and that's the problem with symmetry. The first one to break it usually gets the advantage. And spoiler, that's going to be you. We play g3, preparing the fianchetto. This bishop becomes a monster on the long diagonal, and Black's copy of it will never be as good. If they mirror again with g6, great. Both bishops come out, and the position still looks balanced. But you're the one with the long-term plan. Black is just reacting to whatever you do. Both knights develop, and now we reach the most important moment of the entire structure. You break the symmetry with d4. And the moment you do this, the position stops being equal. You're faster, you're more active, and your bishops suddenly become twice as strong. If they take, your knight jumps into the center with tempo. Look at the difference. Your pieces are active, connected, and ready. Black's pieces are, well, just there. Black usually castles, but they're already slightly worse. You have space, initiative, and way more control of the center. All right, let's move to another super common response. Black plays knight to f6. No symmetry, no center grab, just a flexible knight move where Black says, yeah, I'll decide later. Which is perfect for us because this setup lets White take full control. We develop our knight. Nothing fancy, just building up pressure on the center without committing to anything. And here's the thing about this line. Black has to choose a plan first. Will they go for e6, g6, c5? Doesn't matter, you're already a step ahead. We develop the other knight, hitting the center and preparing kingside safety. Meanwhile, Black is still trying to figure out what structure they even want to play. Let's say they fianchetto, the most common move. Cool, they're aiming for a King's Indian-style setup, but with zero central tension yet. You get to choose when the fight starts. We follow with g3, building your own fianchetto. This bishop on g2 is the soul of the English, long, active, and constantly annoying Black's queenside. Black copies with bg7, you castle, Black castles. Position looks equal, but again, you're the one deciding the plans. You get to choose how to challenge the center. If Black plays d5, you can strike with taking it. If they play c5, you break with d4. If they do nothing, you expand with e4. No matter what Black does, your structure is always more flexible. You're the one choosing the pawn breaks, the plans, and the tempo of the game. And finally, let's look at the line you'll definitely face. Black goes g6 and fianchettos the bishop. This is the King's Indian or modern setup, solid, flexible, and very popular. But against the English, White actually gets the better version. We start with developing the knight as usual because controlling d5 is the whole point of this variation. If Black wants to push d5 later, they're going to have to work for it. Black fianchettos, of course. This bishop looks dangerous, but the funny thing, it has no real targets yet. We match with g3. Your bishop goes to g2, and suddenly the diagonal from g2 to a8 becomes your territory. Black can play c5, d6, knight f6, but no matter what move order they choose, they're always slower than you. This entire setup is reactive. We develop the bishop, and now your position is basically perfect. Solid, flexible, and aiming at the queenside. They bring out the knight, but don't worry, this pressure means nothing yet. We defend with knight to f3 and calmly continue development. No weaknesses, no commitments. Just improving your position while Black waits for something to happen. Black castles, which usually means one thing. They're preparing d5 or e5 somewhere. We castle as well, keeping everything safe and ready for the central break. Black now has to show their hand, but whichever plan they choose, you're more flexible. And here's the trick. If Black stays quiet, you slowly expand with d3 and e4. If they try c5 or e5, you can switch to a d4 break and challenge the center on your terms. Alright nerds, that's it for this week's video. I put a lot of effort into making these, so if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing, it really helps. I upload every week, and next week's video will be about the Queen's Gambit, one of the most important openings you need to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.